Yes.
Welcome, and if
Thank
you'd
you.
identify yourself for the record instead of having me do it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dave Manougian. I'm the general manager of Comcast Sportsnet Northwest. I'm a native Oregonian. Previous to this position, I lived in Orlando for 13 years, where I was one of the original people who went down and started the Golf Channel. And for the last 5 years I was there, I was the president and CEO of the Golf Channel. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you very much. Let me begin by saying that we totally understand, we recognize, and we share the frustration that the fans have that don't get Comcast Sportsnet. We are incredibly proud of the network that we created, and we've worked very, very hard to get this network distributed as widely as possible since we came on board in November 2007. We created this network because we know how passionate Oregonians and Oregon sports fans are, and we saw they were being underserved. We launched Comcast Sportsnet to create a go-to destination for local sports fans. Simply put, we really felt, and again, being an Oregonian, we felt like in order to build a sports net that was truly for Oregonians, it had to be built by people who understood the culture here, that lived here, and knew the sports culture and the outdoor culture here in Oregon. We televise 60 Portland Trailblazer games each season, and KGW and others carry the remaining games so that every game is televised. When the Blazers were on FSN Northwest before Comcast Sportsnet, they had about 20 untelevised games each season. This is very unusual in today's prolific media environment. There are only 2 NBA teams with that many untelevised games. Prior to Comcast Sportsnet, 10 Blazer games were available in high definition. This season, all 60 games on Comcast Sportsnet are delivered in high definition. We have given fans more Blazer content with shows like Courtside, Talking Ball, player and coaches interviews. We've even televised Summer League games. We've also brought much broader exposure to collegiate sports in general, not just the Oregon Ducks, but University of Portland, Portland State, women's athletics as well, with our coverage of women's basketball, women's volleyball, and women's soccer. Not to mention, next week we're kicking off a reality series that we've shot here in Central Oregon that showcases the great outdoors. All of these genres had little to no exposure before Comcast Sportsnet came on board. Comcast Sportsnet is run locally, but we are backed by a wealth of experience in programming and distribution. We are an affiliate of Comcast Sports Group, which provides management services to 14 other regional sports networks carried by 248 individual cable, satellite, and telco companies to 50 million consumers in 42 states across the country. None of these networks is exclusively available to Comcast Cable. All are available to third parties, and most are carried by satellite and telco carriers, which compete with Comcast Cable. Comcast national networks, which include E!, Versus, Style, and the Golf Channel, are also available to and carried by satellite and telco companies that directly compete with Comcast Cable. I can speak directly to one of these, having been at the Golf Channel for 13 years. We worked very hard to make sure that our service was available to everybody across the country. We made it available to cable operators across the country, telcos across the country, and all satellite carriers across the country, and the same is true here. Comcast Sportsnet has invested significant capital and assumed risk associated with launching a television network. The single largest expense for this network, and for any regional sports network, is the sum paid to professional sports teams for the exclusive rights to televise some or all of the games, in this case the Blazers. RSNs commit to pay a multi-year rights fee and then negotiate distribution contracts with the individual cable, satellite, and telco companies to attempt to recoup the cost of those rights. Since launching Comcast Sportsnet, we have worked aggressively to distribute this network. Because of our efforts, we have agreements with 11 separate cable and telco companies serving 1.1 million households in 264 Oregon and Washington communities. These agreements, in our opinion, are proof that the service is priced fairly. If it was priced unfairly, we wouldn't be able to get deals done with 11 other distributors. Notably, Verizon Fios, one of these 11, competes directly against Comcast Cable. They compete in the world of voice, data, and video. And again, Verizon is one of our current customers. They're a great partner, and in the weeks to come, we'll be launching another service with Comcast Sportsnet on Verizon with a high-definition channel. DirecTV, which is the nation's second largest TV distributor and also owns Fox Sports Net Northwest, one of our competitors, has made the decision not to carry Comcast Sports Net. We have repeatedly offered DirecTV distribution proposals to carry Comcast Sports Net on terms comparable to those already accepted by 11 other distributors. DirecTV has been unwilling to engage in meaningful negotiations to carry Comcast Sports Net, and we cannot force them to buy our network. We can only surmise that they don't have an interest in Comcast Sports Net and our Blazers, our Ducks, and our other programming. As another example of our efforts to get the network distributed, we ran a multi-million-dollar campaign to rally Oregon sports fans to contact DirecTV and others to request the network because consumer demand helps gain distribution. Our campaign has included hundreds of newspaper ads, thousands of radio and TV commercials calling on fans to contact their TV provider. We have focused our marketing in the fall when interest and passion for the Blazers and Ducks are at its peak. We have generated more than 6,000 requests for DirecTV to add the network, which have unfortunately fallen on deaf ears. In closing, we remain committed to distributing Comcast Sports Net. We are diehard Oregon sports fans. We are passionate about our sports, our community, and our network.